and welcome back to another video on the Rest of the Way and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. It's a big show today because of course it is the first Dynamite since Revolution, so we got all the fallout from that. We've also got a big title change, but yeah, just running through few of the key segments on the show. That weren't kind of matches, you know what I mean. Tony Khan made a rare appearance and announced the makeover of the All Atlantic Championship. During the show, Stark discussed what was next on his following his match at Revolution. His address was interrupted when the Bullet Club logo appeared on the Triton, leaving Stark and fans confused. As they locked on, Juice Robinson attacked him from behind, seamlessly making a bold statement. And yeah, very excited for that feud. That's where we're going next. Can't wait for that. And yeah, the changing of the championship name, that's an interesting one. I guess it does add a bit more to the All Atlantic Championship or the International Championship. So yeah, excited feature of that belt. And Hangman Page also highlighted that he was done with his feud with John Moxley, and FTR challenged the Guns for their titles. No real surprises there. Before he jumped into Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal, Cassidy starts the match by putting Lethal in a series of side headlocks after a few unsuccessful attempts. Lethal got out and strolled around the ring while the rest started to 10 count. Throughout the match, Cassidy focused on injuring Lethal's left arm, which he was seen nursing earlier. The two battled back and forth, and at one point Lethal assaulted Cassidy outside the ring and threw him knee first into post, leaving the All-Atlantic champion injured. Cassidy hit Lethal with a DDT, followed by an unsuccessful win. Before Lethal looked in the figure of law, the champion rolled out and grabbed the bottom of his opponent and hit a cartwheel off the ropes. His injured arm gave way though. Orange Cassidy looked on as Jay Lethal exited the arena, but it posed a distraction as Jeff Jarrett stuck in the ring and hit his injured knee with the guitar. And yeah, obviously sets out the match for next week. But yeah, up until that point, it gets 7 out of 10 for me. Really good match. And yeah, Cassidy retained the belt. Intrigued to see the match against Jarrett next week. It's going to be entertaining. New kind of felt like a new beginning for the belt. And yeah, in a way it kind of needed it. So yeah, good start to Dynamite. 7 out of 10. Next up on Dynamite, it was Ruby Soho versus Sky Blue. Prior to the match, Soho addressed her actions at Revolution and called out the homegrown talent for going against outsiders. She also cited the fans were not on her side whether she won or lost. As soon as Sky Blue entered the ring, Soho launched a series of kicks. She continued the assault in the ring on the outside. Throughout the match, she mocked her opponent with head pats and taunts. She was no good. Blue then lashed out and slapped Soho, much to her surprise, and cancelled the move into a pin. Soho then threw Sky Blue into the turnbuckle and hit her with a few chops to which her opponent retaliated. Sky Blue then hit a crossbody from the top rope and pinned Soho, but she kicked out. The match concluded with the former WWE star hitting her opponent with a destination unknown after pinning her. Meanwhile, Saraya and Tony walked out and sprayed green paint on exhausted Sky Blue. Winning Nightingale also ran out to her aid, but she also fell prey. And yeah, gets a 5 out of 10 from me. I don't know, this whole outside stuff still isn't kicking with me at the moment. The spray and paint stuff, yeah, it's not. I'm not massive into it, I can't lie. But yeah, I mean, it gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Interesting to see where it goes. Still going to give it a chance, but yeah, at the moment, just not quite clicking. Next up was Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara versus AR, Fox and Top Flight. AR and Jericho kicked off the match. Fox showed impressive athleticism when he countered Jericho's multiple clothesline attempts. He then hit him with a few punches, followed by an scary. Jericho ran to his corner and tagged in Sammy, and a 2-hit Fox with a double shoulder tackle. Darius was then tagged in, but the other members of the JAS created a distraction of him, enabling Garcia to gain the upper hand. Jericho and his team worked swiftly in tag action. At one point, Martin was about to tag his team in. Guevara countered it and assaulted Fox and Darius Martin. The match concluded with Jake Hager hitting Darius while Chris had distracted the official. He followed up with a Jesus effect for the win. Jericho called out the House of Black, claiming his team were now the well-known contenders for the Trios Championship. To his surprise, the Elite and Fort claimed that and said they were the rightful contenders. In the meantime, the champions appeared and issued a challenge to both teams, making it a triple threat for their titles next week on Dynamite. And yeah, that's going to be absolute fire. I can't wait for that. Gets a 6 out of 10 for me. Kind of an interesting direction for the JAS. Next week's going to be a banger match. And yeah, interesting to see the direction after that and which way the match will go. But yeah, start out to that well and gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Next up was the Dark Order versus the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio and Silver kicked off the match, and the BCC members ensured Silver was set up in the opposite corner and unable to tag his partner in. However, the Dark Order member managed to hit a stun gun into the turnbuckle and ran into his tags, and they charged up Reynolds, then went after Moxley and kicked him off the apron, followed by a series of hits to Castagnoli. Silver and Reynolds took turns to wear down their opponents. At one point, Silver hit Moxley with a bridging German suplex and attempts to pin, but the former world champion kicked out. The chaos in the ring enabled Moxley to put Reynolds into a sleeper and then a half Nelson suplex, knocking him out for the win. He did not break the hold either, despite winning, which led to We Will Know rushing him, but Wheeler used to take him on. When all the men brawled, Hangman Page also rushed out to be on the receiving end of an assault by the BCC. So maybe this feud isn't over, maybe it is, who knows. But yeah, I mean, it gets 7 out of 10 for me, just kind of displaying the BCC's more aggressive nature now. And yeah, it did it in a solid enough way, I would say. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 for me. I thought Moxley was going to go on holiday, but clearly not. I don't know, maybe he's still got more legs than him now. Just go on holiday, Mox, man, you deserve it. But yeah, in terms of this segment and the future direction, it gets 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, intrigued by the new direction for the BCC and their new aggressive attitude. Next up was our main event, Wardlow vs Powerhouse Hobbs in a Falls Count Anywhere TNT title match. Given Wardlow's unfortunate luck with being rubbed earlier, he claimed to earn the merch he borrowed from FDR. While fans eagerly awaited for the match to commence in the arena, they'd already started brawling into the parking lot, and Hobbs suplexed Wardlow onto the head of a car. The two men used whatever they could to get their hands to wear down their opponent. Wardlow and Hobbs made their way to the crowd, viciously throwing punches at each other. A disorientated Hobbs hit Wardlow with a spine buster, but the latter managed to get to his feet. And counter his opponent's headbutt. The two for AEW stars continue to brawl till the commentary table at the top of the ramp. When Wardlow was about to set Hobbs up for a powerbomb, QT Marshall hit him with a chair. The champion set his sights on Marshall, giving Hobbs time to breathe. Hobbs and Marshall then teamed up and flung Wardlow off the stage, enabling the ref to reach the 10 count, crowning a new TNT champion. And yeah, I mean, this was I don't know. I was half expecting it, half not expecting it, because Wardlow, he's only running for a short time, but Hobbs also really deserved this. But yeah, QT Marshall bit definitely surprised me. And on the whole, it gets 7.5 out of 10 from me. Yeah, couldn't choose between 7 and 8, so I went down the middle, copped out. But yeah, I mean, so pleased for Hobbs to get this opportunity. He really deserves it. Also a shame for Wardlow, he's had a bit of a hellish week since winning the title. But yeah, I mean, pleased for Hobbs. And yeah, can't wait to see which direction his TNT title reign goes in. So it gets 7.5 out of 10 from me. Overall, Dynamite this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode of Dynamite this week, I have to say. We set some certain things up for future direction. I think that's kind of what it was. A table setting episode post Revolution. We'll have MJF on the show next week. And of course, that big trios title match. Jade Cargill citing to defend her TBS championship against Canadian Star next week as well. So yeah, it seems like this is just kind of a table setting episode. We'll kick off the proper post Revolution, moving on to the next pay-per-view cycle. But yeah, this episode of Dynamite, new TNT champion, and yeah, just about building up to that really, and I think it did it in a solid enough way, so it gets 7 out of 10 from me. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below, follow the channel for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel, it's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, peace.